Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to...
Quite a number of people, as things are in the country now, are beginning to eat out of their savings. What will be your advice to them?
That's what is the reason why you save. Many times people don't realize that, well, let me go back again to principles, because I like talking principles, because I don't know where people are listening from. And when you deal with principles, principles are universal. So it doesn't matter anywhere you are, you're able to. Now, one of the principles of wealth creation is the principles of savings. When we talk of wealth creation, the principles of wealth creation are the principles of financial intelligence, the principle of delayed gratification, the principles of savings, the principles of investment, the principles of multiple stream, the principles of asset acquisition. So there are principles of wealth creation and laws of wealth creation that are all in my School of Money book and the new book I've written. All those things are there. So when you understand the principles of wealth creation and the laws of wealth creation, you know that savings is one of the things you need to do. And we have taught people over the years that everybody needs to have between 6 to 8 months of their living expenses saved up in cash. I've been preaching this now for over 20 years, but people thought, what is he talking about, until COVID came. One of the principles of financial management is that no matter how much you spend every month, you must make sure that whatever you need to survive every month, multiply by 6 or multiply by 8 is available cash, so that when life happens, as it will always do, you'll be able to fall back on that money to survive within 6 to 8 months while you are re-engineering, reinventing, and re-navigating your way. And that's very, very important. So if people are going to eat their savings now, that is what savings is for. One of the purpose of savings is to be able to save you when dry season comes. And once you have that understanding, because these things are there in the Bible, you know my story. These things are there in the Bible, and when I got all these things, I'm like, wow, I started teaching them since 1998. Why? You see, 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. We remember the Egypt story, Joseph in Egypt. Egypt is the type of the world. And when we talk about Egypt, that's the typology of the systems of this world. Because in order for you to become wealthy, you either do Babylon system or you do covenant system. So in the system of this world, the wealth is cyclical. So you have 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine. It doesn't have to be 7 years as a calendar year, but it simply means wealth, abundance, famine, abundance, famine. And now what did Joseph tell them to do? He says save 20% of everything that comes during the season of plenty. Guess what? When the famine, when the abundance came, it was the whole world that was in abundance. When the famine came, it was the whole world that was in famine. But the whole world had to come to Egypt to survive in the days of famine. Why? Because in the days of abundance, only Egypt was saving. 20% of what they saved in 7 years was what made them to survive 7 years of famine and also sustain the entire world. And we see that if you save, one of the reasons you save so that you can have money to invest, you save so that you can use to maximize opportunity, you save for the days of eventuality and for what we call rainy days. So when the rainy days come, the saving becomes your umbrella. So if you have saved money, of course, this is the time to go into the savings. But don't just eat up the savings. Invest the savings into things that you can do now. Because one thing that people don't also understand is that you actually, the Bible says, and Isaac sowed in that land. In the midst of famine, that is the time for you to even continue to sow. Because the same Egypt, don't forget that the Bible says money failed in Egypt. And even though money failed, the Bible said the people came to buy grains with money. After a while, money failed. They now came and said, what do we do? He said, no problem, you can sell yourself, I can buy you. You can use yourself to buy food. But when they use themselves to buy food, what did Joseph do with them? He sent them into the farm to go and plant corn and farm. So question, if there was opportunity to still be farming in the midst of that season, why were they not farming in the first place? Since they were already farmers. Do you understand that? They were not farming because they just felt that, oh, things are bad. So crisis creates opportunities. So no matter how bad the economy is, no matter how bad things is, there are still opportunities. So that's your savings. You can now use it to maximize opportunities now, because there are a lot of things that if you have cash now, you can get things cheaper. You can take a lot of advantage of a lot of people that would need to offload something. So that's the way to go.
Okay.